What's up, guys? Rogue Sinister here with the very first episode of Let's Talk About That for 2024. Wow, it's been a while. It's been hectic. There's a lot of things to cover in this very short time frame. But yeah, join us for this one. So obviously the question on everybody's mind, including probably our family and friends and ourselves, what have we been busy with?
Hibernating. It's very cold where we are, so we've been hibernating.
No, you're lying. It's been so extremely hot. We didn't want to risk going outside.
Yeah.
As you can see in our last episode, it's been in the high 30s to 40 degrees Celsius.
And it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that was rough. But we're going to get to that event pretty soon. What have we been up to? We've been scouting locations. We've been running up and down, getting the vehicle serviced, taking a road trip. We mustn't forget about the road trip.
You've been involved in an accident.
Yeah, with my wife's car. So I'm still married after that, luckily. But yeah, it wasn't a bad accident.
No, it wasn't. Actually, I think we should cover it once because in hindsight now it's funny. But when it happened, it wasn't.
Yeah, and people won't believe the story. So we've been busy scouting, we've been busy making accidents. Quentin has been praying big time for me because I don't know when I became accident prone, but looks like this year I've been doubling up on that.
So for the guys that follow our church channel, you're more than welcome to go into the 7-week fast that we go into.
Yeah, so if you're brave enough to do that. Yeah, we've been scouting. I think let's talk about, should we cover the accident first? Because it wasn't even on the topic list.
No, it wasn't. But while we're here, it happened, and I think both of us, to start with, it wasn't major. It had the potential to be massive. It wasn't major, but yes, a lot of things could have gone wrong, and it could have turned out a lot worse. Nobody
got injured.
No.
Other than my pride. What happened was I was driving home from work and got one of these little batteries. I don't know if anybody on the channel from our era remember that little Tamagotchi.
Yeah, that little silver round short, what's it, lithium batteries?
Yeah, it's a flat battery. So that came out of my daughter's Tamagotchi that mom gave her from many years ago. And it was flat and I had to go and buy one, but as any good father would know, you
dropped it in the center console.
Yeah, I didn't want to go buy the battery because it's a noisy toy. I didn't want noise in the house, so I put it in the center console of the FJ Cruiser
with hope that she will forget.
Yeah, and I actually forgot about it. So it was there for 3 months, and in the center console there's space for coins, like small change. And the battery obviously, made contact at some stage, and I was driving home, so it got a short connection.
Yeah, it shorted between the two coins.
Yeah, in the center console, and a short went off. It's like an explosion happening right next to me, and with me and Quentin, we've been working with SAPS. Obviously, he's with SAPS, South African Police Service, and I used to be part of that for about 12 months, and we were in firefights and stuff like that. So we arrested a couple of guys back then, and the first thought that crossed my mind, as anybody would know, in an accident, things tend to happen in slow motion, and I thought somebody's shooting at me. So,
coming for revenge now for what you've done, right?
I thought somebody got
because
out.
Your vehicles are quite prominent. There's nobody else that has the vehicles
in this small town. Yeah, so they know the orange Jeep, they know the black FJ Cruiser. So I thought for sure somebody's now come to take revenge. But as the shot went, or the explosion went off, I pulled the steering wheel, and there was a lady on the other side of the turn, and I bumped into her. And luckily it was a very slow turn. I was going probably about 15 kilometers an hour at most.
Yeah.
And but the FJ Cruiser weighs 2.5 tons, and I pushed the vehicle out of the way, and then as I got out, I was still not sure what happened because I didn't even realize I bumped into another car.
Just bear in mind that there was shrapnel because of the little plastic and the tin and everything like
everywhere on the dashboard. Yeah. So I really thought somebody fired a shot at the vehicle. So I got out and I saw, but there's no bullet holes, the windows are intact. And I started wondering, and I felt on my side because I always carry my firearm, and I thought maybe
accidental discharge.
Yeah, but with my, we both carry Glocks.
Yeah,
Accidental discharge is very few and far between. I've never heard of it before. But I felt on my leg and I saw, okay, there's no blood, it's not getting warmer, there's nothing like, obviously I didn't shoot myself, the gun didn't go off. And then I realized, okay, I'll have to check further. And I saw the dashboard was covered with little white flakes and metal pieces. And I saw the small pieces of the battery lying on the passenger side of the car, on the carpet, with a few of the coins that popped out in the explosion. And I realized, okay, there was a short. And it was a bit of a fright. And then I realized, look, this lady's car looks terrible. The FJ Cruiser's right-hand side. In our country, we drive on the left-hand side of the road. Yeah. So the right-hand side, the driver's side, the wheel was a bit wonky. And the lady's vehicle that I bumped into was a Mazda CX-5 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a CX-5, a red one.
And it looked bad. Front door, rear door, bumper. On the FJ, it was just the wheel and a bit of the wheel arch. It's already been repaired. Thank God nobody got seriously injured. And thank God even furthermore that it wasn't actually somebody shooting it, because I think that would have been a different story. And we would have had to do the podcast from a different location probably.
Hospital. Beep.
Yeah, so guys, we're here to tell the tale. Thanks as always for my brother in arms. He's always the first one on the scene. And another dear friend of ours, Pastor Ruan Lambrechts, he was actually the first guy on the scene.
Yeah, because he literally lives right across the street.
It was in his road, where he stays, and he was there making the phone calls. Pastor Ruan, thank you so much. You are a blessing to us. And to everybody else on the scene after that, obviously with Quentin, he's always the first one to rock up and assist with whatever, because he's got the experience. So I appreciate it.
Fake it until you make it.
It's the second accident in about a year. Yeah. First one was my dad and my brother with the motorcycles, and now it's mine. So you've always like our guardian angel kind of, but you're the naughtiest guardian angel that I know. So, yes. But I really appreciate you, my brother. So thank you so much.
I'm glad you're right. That's why we pray for it.
Part of the adventures, eh? So, and then obviously everybody else on the scene that helped us out that day. I don't want to call all the names out because I'm going to definitely leave somebody out, but our brother in our church, Kobus van Eden, he's part of the fire brigade. He sent out the ambulances and traffic department, and at the end of the day, like I said, nobody got seriously. And that's what we are grateful for.
Way worse.
So that was the biggest adventure I've had, other than the URBEX side of things. And I'm not sure if there's something on your side that you can tell, maybe from your side, if there was an adventure, other than building. You were busy with house renovations and you've moved in and all that.
That obviously never stops. For the
so
married people, if you ever buy a house, renovations will never stop. I think the most interesting thing that I've been busy with was the snake catching course.
Wow,
Other than that, actually conquering a fear. I wasn't really afraid of them, but I would rather leave them than encounter them. And having to handle a Cape Cobra, a Mozambican spitting cobra, rinkels, buff adder, tends to push up your adrenaline a bit.
For sure.
But also shows you a lot of new respect for animals, which we have a great misperception of.
It's almost like with sharks as well.
Yeah.
They avoid people, they don't really want to
exactly the same with these guys. They tend to not be there, and the guys that we spoke, I used to do the course with, lovely animals, literally lovely animals. So,
and you didn't get bitten or anything, so you can still see nothing spit in your eyes or.
Where are you sitting? No. Look, obviously the guys having the course Axis Professional Development. These guys are extremely professional. So you had the goggles. You always. At no stage the snakes aren't milked. They still have their teeth, so they're live animals, but it's calm animals. And really, if you treat them with respect, they'll definitely treat it back.
So what are some of the prominent snakes in our areas, like the rinkels, for instance?
In our area, in the Vaal, buff adder, rinkels.
Both extremely poisonous.
Yeah. The rinkels, it's one of the most poisonous snakes, but there hasn't been a recorded fatality in over 40 years because of rinkels. So the treatment, in a sense, is very good. But we've seen a massive increase in the snake activity. So they're literally coming into the residential areas. And that's mostly because of the dry seasons and the extreme heat that we're having.
And also because we're building up everywhere, so we're taking away part of their ecosystem, and they need to find food somewhere.
Yeah. So obviously in our area, those are the two prominent ones, but we've had one or two Cape Cobras. I don't know if it by mistake got into a vehicle, ended up here. I don't ever record a black mamba being around here. But puff adders are extremely, and then you get your brown house snakes and your mole snakes and your, the average.
Non-poisonous.
Yeah, the stuff that really escapes the krikkie and
like little house.
Yeah. Something that won't even not even have a medical implication at any way, stage or form.
Well, kudos for completing the course and actually being qualified as a snake catcher. What do you call it? It's a professional designation.
Yeah, it's a snake catcher. So basically, what Nick and his team does, they register you in the Free State. We get registered with two places, obviously forestry and fishery, and then you also get registered under the University of Bloemfontein.
Okay.
So, and they actually one of the only people that want you to, when you catch and release, you must record it, and they actually follow up on that stats rigorously.
Wow.
To obviously, see
nature
what the
conservation
snakes,
stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's good. It really changed my mind.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, we've not been busy.
Well, super proud of you, because I mean that's one of my fears. I don't really do too well with heights and with snakes. So.
Highs and lows.
The highs and the lows, yeah. So, no, well done. That's actually something awesome to start off the year with, just a separate type of interest over and above the normal stuff we do together.
And like I told the guys on Insta the other day when I gave the thanks, because the course was sponsored by Nick and them. Just a heads up is because we're in the bush 99.9% of the time, or abandoned places.
It definitely, I mean, that's where you'll find them, dragons and snakes.
They're there. So they're there. So it's just basically so that we don't kill them, and we know how to manage them when they're there.
Well, if you had to choose between getting bit by a snake or by a drug addict, I would choose the snake, to be honest, because I don't know if there's an antidote for a drug addict biting you.
Yeah, there's no antivenom for a tick or eh?
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know what diseases they carry, but not to be disrespectful. I mean, people go through tough times, but we tend to run into situations sometimes with drug addicts as well, and with cable thieves. And now snakes is the one we train for, but the other two we wing it. We pray and we hope for the best, and we don't want to shoot anybody unnecessarily. So, yeah, guys. So a negative, I think let's start off with the negative stuff first, because we've had a bit of a negative run-in earlier this year.
Was it last year? Was it early? No, it was earlier this year.
No, it was this year.
Yeah, it was this year. You're correct. It was.
Yeah, it was going to be our first real big shoot for 2024. We're going to do a bit of a name calling on it, because we can't really hide it.
Name and shame that place.
For sure. No, there's a small town in the Free State, Northern Free State, that it's got some history and it's got some abandoned places, and we found it online, a town by the name of Hennenman. And Hennenman has got some history with regards to the voortrekkers, which is the Groot Trek, the Great Trek. And there's some prime locations we wanted to film, but we weren't really...
Just a bit of background, I think like 40% of the entire town is abandoned. So you'll literally have an abandoned building, and then right next door it's civilization. Then you walk a kilometer down the road, then everything else is abandoned again.
Yeah, and they've got, well, first of all, they've got a beautiful primary school that, one of the locations were opposite the primary school, and Quentin couldn't stop looking at this. He wanted to go play on the rugby field.
I hated school, but if I was in that school, I promise you I'll be there. I will not do my homework just to stay there.
So the town is completely quiet, like a ghost town almost. There is people in the main roads with the shops and stuff like that, and obviously the nearby informal settlement, they come to town for their food and buying whatever they need. But so this school, on a Saturday morning while we were there early, there was already a guy with his tractor on the field mowing the lawn. And it's almost like you could put any soccer team, world-class soccer team or rugby team on that field. It was like the quality and the landscaping was immaculate.
And it was precision, like the grass was cut. It was almost like you could put a water level on that grass and say, that's it.
I couldn't get to the word water level, but I always forget about that. So, but that was one of the big surprises in the town. But as we started scouting around, we came across one of the community centers with a community rugby field outside with a little pavilion. We'll still load the episode with some of the stuff that we could.
Because we actually did get some proper footage while we were there,
We gave you proper drone flight training. Like
that's where actually...
You've got your private pilot's license now in drone flying. But we'll do the next lesson. I'll give you the next lesson. You'll be one level up again.
Perfect.
So,
And I can have my other wing.
But I'm joking. No, he did a marvelous job. And I always joke that we have the 2 drones, but we never give him the chance to fly. So he's on the DJI Mini. And at the moment I'm on the DJI Ep.002. They're very similar. So same but different. So we want to get some more proper drone footage on our episodes. We already have some good footage, but I think it's always good to have backup footage. And
the more footage you have, the more you can use.
That's the truth with videography. No, less isn't more. More is more.
And once again, like I said, when we started there, it started off phenomenally well. And I actually had very high expectations, and so did you.
Sure,
we definitely came in there with a positive vibe, and
the town looked so beautiful.
And even the interactions with the people while we were driving through was an awesome.
The community was open for interviews.
There was actually an old Wimi and Tani or auntie and uncle that Wimi and Tani for the English people. So they were actually very open. They gave us like 45-minute talk down of what was and what when.
He took out a book.
Through a book.
He's got a book there with the history of the town and shows you like how the shops looked like 50, 60 years ago and how it's developed and the homes and the people around, the industry around Hennenman. Because it's predominantly a farming community with a lot of farms around it now. I don't know what the industry was before farming. Railroad. That's true. Because we even shot a bit of the railroad section. Some of the abandoned buildings there.
Tower there.
Exactly. So guys, we'll definitely load up the episode. But the negative side was we asked permission to film one of the locations, and we got permission. And
we always do. We're respectful like
we
that.
We try not to trespass if we can't help it. Okay, we won't say we never trespass, but most of the times we don't trespass. And this was one of the towns we wanted to respect because it's small community, small town. You don't want to leave there with a bad name.
Especially in the industry. I mean, you're on TV, you're on...
So we're going to touch on the negative side very quickly without getting too political about it because we are not politically affiliated with anybody. We don't push a political agenda. But unfortunately that day, without us knowing, there was apparently like a farm murder 2 weeks before
prior to that. So and, the senses were a bit heightened, but we unwilling or unnoticed.
We did not know about it. So in fact, we got permission and Quentin asked permission, and while the guy at this specific location phoned his supervisors or tried to get in contact with him, we said we were going to drive around a bit and come back.
Give him an hour.
And we did. We went an hour and a half, 2 hours later, we went back. And as we climbed out, started filming, everything was fine. And unfortunately, the supervisor rocked up and he said to us, we're not allowed to film, without giving us any reason, and pointed us away. So we said, look, it's fine. They didn't give us any hassle at that stage, but we got in the car, drove around a bit, found another location where there was a bit of a monument.
Which is open.
Dates.
I mean, that was open. It was on the little public
property
area.
So you can get in, and monuments are, in our country, you're allowed to go visit any monument, film any monument, because it's part of the national history of South Africa.
And it's not restricted at all. It wasn't closed down. There wasn't boards. There wasn't nothing.
Didn't say private property, no trespassing. This was actually on a sidewalk on a double road with there's a like a bit of a green belt in between. Got out, started filming, started reading up a little bit about this location, and then the same guy with his bakkie rocked up and told us we're not allowed to film there. And we said, but this is part of our history, and they weren't having any of it. And we then realized every time we're going to stop somebody, this oak's going to rock up, because as you've seen on the channel with the orange Jeep, dozer, as we call it, is so visible.
Everybody notices it when you enter.
We're not going to hide away with it. It's not something that can blend in. And this oak was watching this orange Jeep driving through Hennenman.
He basically followed us right through where we were and what we were doing.
So we left there with a bad taste in our mouth, because at the end of the day, we've never been approached like this, not allowed to film a place based on our history, stuff
and
like
once
that.
again, we were respectful.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't
asked permission.
Yeah, we didn't go and just barge in and take photos.
Yeah.
We were respectful towards the town and the people, and even the officers, even the supervisor. We were very respectful, and
Definitely.
I think I've still had footage where I kept on rolling while he was talking to us.
We'll put some of that in the episode, but not to dwell on it for too much longer, because I've been giving Quentin an earful because of that for quite a while, and we actually learned a valuable lesson that we have to still tell the story, even if it's not a good story, it's still good to tell the story. And a huge shout out to the community of Hennenman, the people that we did get in contact with, the auntie and the uncle that Quentin interviewed, and the people in town that we asked directions to, and that type of stuff. Guys, thank you so much. We don't have any bad feelings towards Hennenman.
Not at all.
We think it's a beautiful town with a huge story to tell, beautiful history. Unfortunately, we were not allowed at that specific time to actually tell the story or film any further locations in the town. So that is the sad part, but the positive part is that Hennenman is still alive and kicking. There's a community, and most of the
people are decent.
Most of the people we came in contact with were super positive and very happy that somebody was actually there to tell their story, because we are never rolling into a town wanting to tell a negative political type
or a lie or anything.
For sure.
Everything's fact-based, and the only thing that we lied on a bit was telling the lady that it's going to be shot in 3 weeks.
Yeah, because you making promises that I have to.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's my stand.
What is that line in Top Gun that says your body's writing checks that your ego can't cash, or your ego's writing checks and your body can't cash? So he wrote the checks that I can't cash at the end of the day.
I told the lady, because she's so excited, because we had a little interview with her, obviously on camera as well, and she's so excited and I told her, no, it's going to be aired in 3 weeks. And I gave her the channel and I gave her the link and everything, and like we almost 3-4 months past it now.
Yeah, it was January.
Yeah, so it's 3 months past. Yeah, and it's and we haven't done it yet.
Sorry, Tani, it's his fault, not mine. We will still air it, but we were still deciding how we're going to do it. But I think let's step off the negative side of URBEX, because it happens to everybody.
It's also the reality of life. Nothing's going to go smoothly always.
Nothing's guaranteed.
But now let's go to the positive. What was our most positive experience for 2024?
Yeah, so there's two things, and I think before we get to the real story, we went on a bit of a road trip recently, out of the blue.
I forgot about that.
Because I thought about it while you were saying this now, earlier on as well with the Jeep and everything. Me and Quentin decided to go scout out a location near where we live. The Vol Dam is one of the biggest dams.
80 kilometers. No, it's 40 kilometers,
40 kilometers from where we stay. It's the biggest dam in South Africa, I think. One of the biggest dams. The Vol Dam, and next to the Vol Dam, so VAAL, Vol, is also the area that we stay in. Is the Vol Triangle.
Yeah.
So the dam is one of the closest attractions in our area. It supplies water, fresh water, to all the communities, including Johannesburg, and all the local areas. So it's a big, massive reserve of fresh water for the country. But on the side of the Vol, there's obviously little communities, little towns, and also little like resorts for people to go camping,
resorts.
Go on holiday for the weekend or whatever. And there's one that we know about. We've known about it for many, many years.
Because we grew up with it. That's part of our heritage growing up in the Vol.
Even my granddad, who's already with the Lord, he's already passed away. But even my father told me when they went on holiday, they lived a few kilometers away, and they went there as kids. So that place's history goes back a long time. But we're not going to get into that now, because that's going to turn into a long episode. But we wanted to visit this place because it is purely abandoned. There's nothing, but unfortunately it's under government watch, and we weren't allowed in once again. But that's not negative, it's just par for the course.
That's how the story started,
So we sat next to the road there, outside the gate, wanted to send the drone up, but don't want to risk losing the drone. How do you get in and then obviously get caught? We don't want to do that. So we were having our like a tea time or a tea break kind of thing next to the road. Sounds like old
Magwenyas. If you ever Google Magwenyas in Kabanosi.
Yeah, it's like a vetkoek, like a fat cake, but it's got a bit of a sweet taste to it. It's almost like donut dough, but it's rolled into a ball, and we had
deep fried, obviously.
Yeah, we had salami sticks with that. So we had to look after our figure. We can't get stuck without eating a snack at least. So we were deciding what are we going to do. So we drove to the nearest town, which is Villers.
On our way actually
to another location.
Which we actually never went to. Grootvlei. Which is a very good or very big power station facility.
Well, it was a small power station in today's terms, but my father-in-law used to work there. So my wife was born and grew up for the first 2 to 3 or 4 years of her life. She grew up in Grootfontein. Grootvlei. Not Grootfontein, Grootvlei, And so we wanted to go see what it looks like. But on the way there, we drove past a town called Villers. So we wanted to see what Villers looked like. So we turned in there and got the shock of our lives with the roads and with the condition of the... But the town was quite beautiful with 1 or 2 beautiful houses.
It was clean, and we actually took a couple of Instagram photos and actually had a decent...
But it's in the middle of nowhere.
No, that's a farming community through and
through. If you get a flat tire there, you're going to wait till next week Wednesday till somebody can come and assist you. But look, it was a beautiful town, but we got bored of it pretty quickly because it's like 3 roads up, 3 roads down, and you're done with the town. It's got a beautiful resort next to the river, which is part of the Vol, a water system. So Quentin mentioned that he's driven past a little sandwich shop or something right next to the highway, which is a few kilometers away from Villers.
It's like a truck stop actually on your way going to Durban on the N3. So you literally, when you pass Villers, you get the truck stop, which has got the nicest toasted samis. Which I was at that stage in the mood for.
Because we already went through the Magwenias and the salami sticks, and we were still hungry, as always. And so it's a stone's throw away. So we drove over the highway, got there and realized, look, this place is I don't know how to say, but the community has enveloped this whole place with the informal settlement with the homes and whatever, the little shacks we call it. So we decided, look, we're going to turn around. And as I got on the highway, I said to Quentin, just check the GPS. How far is Harrismith, which is another town with massive history. And he said, no, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours drive away. And I just said, well, how do you feel about doing lunch in Harrismith? So he said, well, he's never done that before. And I'm always going for lunch. So we drove up the highway. 2 hours later, stopped in Harrismith. There's a very well-known hub of restaurants and a petrol station or fuel station.
So when you go on holiday, everybody stops at that.
On the way to Durban, that's the place to stop. So we stopped there, had lunch, spent about 2 hours in the town.
Actually, also scouted a couple of proper locations,
beautiful locations
that we might end up reviewing.
There's one town hall that's immaculate, but it's behind security gates. And after driving past that, we've decided we're definitely going to get permission to try and film that.
Also, Vanita from Upside Down posted something on our Instagram with regards to that specific location.
There's a haunted story about a ballerina that's actually haunting that building.
That's correct, yes.
So we'll link, we always talk about the Upside Down Paranormal. We'll link them down. We're going to talk about them a little bit later, so I don't want to jump the gun too soon, but we'll link them down below in the description. So Harrismith, beautiful town, surrounded by the mountains. In winter time, there's actually snow on the mountains, and what a beautiful town. So then we decided, are we going to push through to go to Ballito because we've got family there. But time constraints, unfortunately, at that stage.
It was already 1 o'clock, 1:30.
We had lunch.
Decided to, so.
It was actually much later because it was past lunch already. It was like at 2:30, 3 o'clock already.
You're correct, because we still said that we will only arrive there after dark. What are we gonna do? And you don't want to rock up at your family's doorstep and just, they might be friendly enough, but at the end of the day, it's also, you don't want to inconvenience somebody. So maybe you don't.
Send them the link and see what they say. So we turned around and then we decided, listen, we're going to turn our way towards Clarence, because Clarence is one of the other locations we wanted to go visit. And it's on you drive past the Lesotho border, which is a landlocked country in South Africa. It's a sovereign country on its own.
A neighbouring state, just a part of South Africa.
But it's landlocked, so it's surrounded by South Africa and the mountains, and you have to have a passport to go through the... So unfortunately, we didn't have our passports, or fortunately rather for our wives. So we drove all the way up to the Lesotho border and we took a right. At one stage, I don't know if it was the Monster energy drinks or whatever, but he spotted logs that looked like dinosaurs. And I was convinced we're seeing dinosaurs, and he almost fell out the car laughing.
But let's just give them some perspective. We were on our way to go view a dinosaur museum.
In Clarence.
In Clarence.
Yeah, so we were expecting to see some stuff next
which
to
is
the side of the
actually
road.
supposed to be abandoned.
Yeah, which wasn't. But
no.
Yeah, so we drove to Clarence and made some good contacts there. So we're definitely going to try and film that location in the future as well.
Because it's not abandoned, but it's still not completed. And I think for people not knowing what it is, I think that's a proper visit.
Definitely.
And the Golden Gate is...
Yeah, so you drive through the Golden Gate National Park. On Instagram, you'll see the pictures of us taking photographs in. I'll maybe even drop some drone footage on this episode. I'll overlay it with this episode. You can see what it looks like or get an idea more or less. But the Golden Gate National Reserve is a beautiful, protected area.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, got to Clarence, drove through Clarence a little bit, and then turned homeward. And our 40-kilometer trip to the Vol Dam, to that location we wanted to film initially, turned into a 700-kilometer road trip in one day.
Unplanned.
Completely unplanned.
And both our wives were at the same function. So he tried to break it to his wife. She wasn't answering the phone. So I broke it to my wife. She thinks that it's one hell of a joke.
Yeah.
And then only to find out that
we're serious.
We actually understood already.
So that was one of the... I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That was one of the highlights of 2024 so far.
And there was great bonding time,
Definitely.
And it's just getting so close to nature. Both of us actually love nature, like we said previously.
Yeah.
And seeing stuff like that just tends to make you grateful again.
Yeah. And it warms my heart to see that we still have so many beautiful unexplored areas in our country that nobody really knows about unless you go visit it yourself.
Or do an unplanned road trip.
Yes, for sure.
Get yourself friends that do unplanned road trips. Do that.
We're going to do it again. We're definitely going to do it again.
But this time, we're going to the coast.
For sure. We're going to get up earlier.
Yeah.
I'll get up at least 5 o'clock. But it might be 3 o'clock. We'll see. We'll drive down to the coast and there's some nice locations in Belito that we still want to go film.
Yeah.
And other areas as well.
Yeah. Look, it's once again, like you said, our country is rich of these abandoned, desolate places that we know about. I mean, our location list is over 70 different locations.
That's true. And a lot of them are in nature because people tend to move to the cities and these places collapse or the community collapses and they leave these places behind.
So we actually have a lot of work to do, but it's just we've kind of exhausted our resources close by 2-3 hours where we stay.
Yes.
So now it's stretching. It's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours away from where we stay.
But we are going to do it.
No, we definitely are. It's just now the planning gets a bit, the logistics behind it get a
So before jumping the gun, sorry to interrupt on that, but let's get to the real point. The last location that we've done.
Yeah, proper.
Collaboration with the Upside Down Paranormal. Location called Solverkop, which is a tank regiment located or based in Pretoria.
Active military base.
Yeah, with a museum for defective munitions, with some history behind that.
Great history.
Yeah. So we were invited by the Upside Down Paranormal. Link in the description below. Go.
And guys, they've actually rebranded now. And it's not that there was anything wrong with the brand previously, but it's clean. I must say, guys, kudos. It looks beautiful.
Listen, Rivas, Yanni,
Venita,
the machine. You must always say the machine.
Yes.
Yanni, the machine, Venita, and Stefan. Thank you so much, guys, once again for inviting us to Solverkop. We really had a marvelous time with you guys. And this last episode, I think 35. It's 35 or 36, I can't recall.
No, I think it's definitely 35.
Okay.
If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's for me, it was highlighted. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun now, but I think we actually had 15,000 views on that. To the highest that we previously had was 7,600.
About 7.6 thousand views on the previous episode. That was our previous highest episode, which was in fact our first podcast on the channel.
Yeah.
Got that views. And excuse me. frog in the throat.
It's getting all emotional.
I'm getting emotional about it. No, yeah, the last episode, when I checked this afternoon, was sitting on 15,000 plus minus. You're 100% spot on with that. And our viewers subscriber base jumped from about 5.1 thousand close to about 7,000 now with one episode. So
thanks, guys.
You guys are awesome. You rock. Yeah. And I think we've got some of the best supporters. We never get like super negative comments or anything like that.
No,
and if there's criticism, it's always very constructive. And
things that we actually can work on, which is not being nasty about it. It's just pointers and tips helping us.
Positive community and people, like-minded individuals that want to protect these places, and I think supports our initiative of documenting places before they completely, disappear. And to honor the memory of the guys and the places, or the people and the places. So
especially like the last one, there's actually a lot of people that lost their lives in that specific.
It's more
event.
of a memorial site almost than anything else. But guys, go watch the episode if you haven't. For us, it was a major episode.
No, we had a ball. Yeah, it was hot
and
as
we
hell.
laughed.
But I had a proper ball, and
we almost died. As always.
I don't know.
He's got a bit of a flu at the moment, or it's the tail side of the flu at the moment.
It's the shock. It's not the flu. So I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if we're allowed to say this on YouTube.
We're Christians. So if we die, we in heaven automatically. So
maybe you are. I don't know. So
I'm hoping.
We're busy filming. It's hot as hell. For the first time ever on an exploration, I'm wearing a short pants and tackies, and I'm sweating
profusely,
like bad. And we walk in the bush, and it's hot, it's humid, you're sweating.
And remember, it's a military base.
Yeah.
Where an explosion occurred. 1945.
Where 45 people actually died due to an explosion.
Yeah, and there's a lot of defunct munitions lying there, scattered, but obviously most of it's been picked up. It's not to say you're not gonna spot some of it in the wild. Yeah.
So, him being who he is, I actually saw an old rusted mortar lying on a rock, and I'm like, look at this. This is fantastic, because it's not stuff that you see, and it's been there for probably the last 40 years.
Because it's rusted, it's like beyond recognition almost.
And
it looks like a munition. Let's just, sorry to interrupt, but explain to the guys that's not military savvy. A mortar is
looks like a little American football ball. With fins at the back, so it's got the
you drop it in a tube and it pops out.
You get 60, 80. There's different sizes that you get. So obviously the diameter of the tube differs, but it looks like.
But the bigger the tube, the bigger the explosion.
Obviously, So this was not big. It was probably this thick. The whole mortar.
Big enough for at least 10 people.
What about this? So years back, you got a little thing. Like with fins at the back, you put it in a swimming pool, or you go to the ocean and you chuck it around on the beach.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like that, but only with high volumes of explosives in it.
Yeah, it's got shrapnel that expands. The moment it explodes, it splits up and what have you. So
that thing's obviously rusted beyond repair. Nobody's seen it because nobody goes there.
It's in the overgrowth between the bushes. Yeah.
And it's not
on a concrete block.
Yeah, and it's not been
touched.
Obviously demined or it's made safe in any way, shape or form. And I obviously, with great respect, look at this, and I'm like, look at this is awesome.
He's amazed. He's actually, bless you.
Thank you.
He's amazed to spot this in the wild, because we thought everything was picked up and stored away in the museum. Yeah, so.
And Mr. Clever picks it up and he's like, what? And he literally taps the mortar 3 times on the
concrete.
rock.
It's like, I wonder if this thing is still active.
When he looks around, I'm like already 200 meters going that side, because
he was gone. Like the moment the first tap hit the concrete, Mr. Sinister disappeared like mist in front of the sun. And I can hear Benita in the background saying, what? Like he's telling her, no, he's the only guy that knows somebody that will actually tap a mortar. And then two seconds later, one of the big army guys rocked up. I can't recall his name. But thank you so much to the guys on the base that actually escorted us in some of the areas. And
they were super nice and super informative.
And so casual.
Yeah.
Like, they were like buddies, friends.
Yeah.
by the end of the evening, we felt like family. But we asked this guy, is it safe to tap these? He said, it looks rusted beyond the capability of exploding, but he wouldn't advise because it could still be dangerous. So then we realized, listen, this is not something to mess around with. And
would have been a bit late to realize that only then, right?
Grateful that we weren't sitting in.
And now you wonder why he's involved in accidents.
But other than that, the evening went fine. So guys, go watch the episode. That's not part of the episode. That's just a little tidbit of what happened. But wow, what an exploration. Go view the episode. And once again, shout out to the Upside Down Paranormal. You guys rock. And it's a privilege to be part of what we now call, Desolation Nation.
Yeah.
We are, I would say, a group of adventurers that...
it's long past it's long past Colab. It's family that when we come
friends,
together, it's a proper jol.
For sure.
And also maybe a shout out to the SANDF for being so courteous.
Some of the guys drove through from Potchefstroom, which is about 150, 200 kilometers away from Pretoria, just to visit and be part of the experience that evening. I hope the episode will bring across our excitement and our total awe of what we were viewing that evening. So that is one of the most positive things. So I think to end off the episode, because I know Mr. Sinister has got another appointment he needs to get to. So unfortunately, he's got his responsibilities, and I'm going to see if I can do a bit of editing after this. But what do we have planned for the rest of the year? Because there's a few big locations that are up and coming, and we're busy scouting. I don't know if you want to mention the locations.
There's about 3 prominent big ones that are like on the map within, let's say, the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say 3 weeks because you apparently
no,
don't
if you
like
promise 3 weeks, you're going to go on your own. So, and I'm going on holiday for a couple of weeks now. So when I'm back, we're going to hit the ground running. But I think the biggest one I'm looking forward to is
the monastery.
The monastery, It's a cathedral / monastery with a bit of a, what do you say? I'm umming and ahhing with this because I can't get to the words. But there's a...
Afrikaans and English is like airtime. It runs out at some stage. Yeah, it's like
an orphanage.
Orphanage that was part of the monastery.
Part of that, So it's a big location. The monastery is one part. It's an immaculate condition. And then it's got the orphanage on the backside. I don't know how far it dates back, but it looks at least 60 to 70 years old.
Yeah, because it's still made of sandstone.
Yeah, so we're going to visit that. It's about a 600-kilometer drive to get there. We're not going to reveal the name. The second thing is the prison.
Yeah.
An abandoned prison. We haven't seen it yet, but we've heard about it. And
there's a lot of hearsay about it. So some people say that yes, it is. Some people say that we haven't. Like we've got various other people on our channel that we obviously ask assistance with. So I hear that people recently visited it like 2 or 3 weeks ago and weren't happy. And then other people then once again tell another story that it's been awesome.
We're getting mixed signals with this location, but we still want to do an abandoned prison.
We've never done one before.
And this one looks like it's got some other buildings attached to it, like houses and stuff like that. So
if I'm not mistaken, it's also marked close to a nursery, or there might be some confusion with some sort of nursery. But like I said, we're investigating. And
we'll see what we can find. But that's the other location, and then
the Air Force.
Third one, an Air Force base.
So that's going to be a sleepover.
We're going to do illegal camping in the hangar. It's
illegal.
You need to have, but USAPS.
You must put in a little, like, what do you call that?
Disclaimer.
Put it in. It's not illegal.
No, but for the viewers, just to make it more exciting, it's going to be illegal. But you need a 4x4 or a good like ADV motorbike. Adventure biking or 4x4 to get there. Luckily, Dozer's been serviced, so we're going to try and get there with a Jeep because we need the fridge and we need the braai and we need...
Definitely need the braai.
Yeah, so... guys, some big stuff on the horizon.
So keep it going, guys. Keep following us. And once again, we thank you a lot, but I don't think we can ever thank you enough for all the support. And it's been a tremendous journey. We actually, while setting up earlier, we spoke about it, and we so filled with gratitude because we started this with 500 viewers and we almost...
Well, not even. I remember being on 37 subscribers and I thought to myself, this is taking ages. So 36 episodes in, counting our shorts, we're sitting on 59 videos at the moment on this episode. We're sitting on 59 videos overall, including the shorts. We ended off 2023 we ended off with 500. We were aiming for 500.
Yeah.
We surpassed that by a long shot. In January, it hit like the big time, and we sitting currently on close to 7,000 subscribers, which is, to me,
tremendous.
it's amazing. So
no, and thanks, guys, and you know, this, I won't say simple stuff, but it's a small gesture, but it means a lot to us. Like sponsoring of the course, GKL Tactical, that gave us that little tool, and it's, you know, it's stuff that I've only dreamt about, and we've only dreamt about, and
the support is just amazing.
Yeah, so once again, we can't say thank you enough, and like, if you can, please go share it with people so that we actually had a funny story. I was standing and telling people about the figures that we've reached, and I don't know, this chick from a bar of soap, and out of nowhere, I'm busy talking to people that I know, and I'm telling them that no, we recently reached 6,500 viewers, and out of nowhere, this chick at the back shouts, and I'm one of them, and I'm like, what? And I look around, and
not even knowing who it is,
But and it's stuff like that that makes it fun, and that makes it so
exciting.
So thanks a lot, guys.
I think if we can ask a favor, you know, the support already is, for us, it's massive. But if you can go check out the channel, check out the episodes from the past, go see where we started and where we are now.
Basically our journey.
Go like the videos, just go click the like button. It means the world to us. And if we can ask even more, you know, share it with your friends. Let's grow this community, because I think it just opens up people's eyes to see what's happening in the country, and even open up internationally people's eyes to see how beautiful South Africa is. So do it for the country as well as for this community. And then leave us some comments. If you guys want to see us doing some of our EDC equipment, you know, what we carry every day with
basically
us.
Some interaction of what you guys want. I mean, you guys are so integral part of what we do that
definitely
it doesn't help that we do things that you don't like, so
or don't find interesting.
So tell us what you want to see, what locations you want us to visit.
Share some locations, and then also if you guys would be interested in maybe joining us on some of the explorations. We can't take a truckload of people, but maybe 1 or 2 at a time in your area, that'll be fine.
Forming part of the experience.
Tell us if you want to see us review the equipment that we use, the drones, the cameras, stuff like that. We don't mind doing that, reviewing the vehicles that we use, maybe giving you some pointers on urbexing, because a lot of people want to get into this hobby but they don't know how to. So
they're unsure and uncertain.
And we can definitely give some advice after 3 years of doing this.
No, this is not an exclusive us only. The more urbexes we can get out there, the more exposure we can have towards these places, and have the potential of them actually being restored to their former glory.
And the most important thing of all is, if you guys are into urbexing and you go and explore places, always be respectful of the people, the places. Don't litter, leave your footprints. I know people go to places that's already been vandalized, but don't be part of the community that vandalizes or that strips away at these locations. Rather record it with a camera, tell a bit of a story, and just be part of that experience and leave it as is. It's not to say that when other people do bad stuff, we have to do bad stuff. We try and protect these places. So, guys, as we always say, check us out on Instagram, sinisterpix, the Rogue URBEX on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and thanks for being an awesome part of our lives.
Phenomenal.
I don't think we can say thanks enough.
No, we can't. And maybe then on this last, I think we're almost done now.
We're almost done.
There's a special shout out, and something phenomenal happened this week that passed. And I never expected this to happen at all. You know a bit more of who it is and what happened, but we were invited to an official launch, our very first official invite to an official launch of a product.
We got an invite to a DJI product launch down in Cape Town, a company by the name of ORMS Direct, or ORMS Direct. A guy by the name of Alex emailed us to say we invited. I'm sure there's a lot of other guys, content creators invited, but for us it's a privilege. We're small-time content creators at this stage, and we just want to...
Actually, just having the invite was massive on its own.
It means a lot to us,
But unfortunately, we respectfully had to decline because both of us...
We are not able at this stage. So we'll definitely, we emailed them back, we thanked them already, but Alex said that he'll include us in future events as well, include us in the invites. So guys, thanks a lot. I'll maybe link the website in the description below as well. Go support them. All our local small businesses that supply these products. Us as content creators need cameras, we need drones, and these are the guys, that's our lifeline when it comes to this. So,
and
thanks
also
for the
once
invite,
we do this so that we always stay on top of what we do. I mean, the better equipment gives you better footage, better features, better image quality, and we don't do it for ourselves. We do it for you guys, and
for the love of the hobby, of the market that we are in. You know, that's.
And once again, being a part of something, a brand as DJI is, and I think 90% of our equipment is DJI based.
Yeah, our gimbal, our 2 drones, our action camera that you're actually filming with, that's the majority of the equipment. And then obviously that's a big part. We're looking into buying more of the action cameras at the moment, because we're still rolling. It does 4K, but we're still running with a DJI action camera, the first one.
Yeah.
That thing's been going strong.
Yeah, and that's bulletproof.
Our DJI mini drone, the very first DJI mini that we ever had, that's the one that we built the channel on.
Yeah.
That's the one that you're flying. And then the DJI Air2S that we purchased about 2 years ago, that thing's going strong. We've got plenty batteries. We're still going to use that for a while. We recently purchased the DJI Ronin RS3, which is the gimbal that we use for the Sony camera, which is a bit of a heavier camera, but the gimbal is perfect.
And once again, the stuff's bulletproof. Yeah, obviously we don't misuse it, mishandle it, but it takes a beating in the environment that we are in. The stuff's bulletproof, like literally. Hence again, just a proof of a proper product.
Yeah, even the microphones that we're using now is the DJI wireless microphones. So we really support the brand. So Alex, thanks for the invite. We really appreciate it. Sorry for not being able to attend, but we're looking forward to doing it in the future. Yeah, so guys, that's it for episode 2. We have to wrap it up. Mr. Sinister here has got a I don't know if we should say church service to attend or a band practice to attend. It's
actually a band practice, yeah.
We'll tell the story that I was fired from a band once from church, but we'll do it in a future episode.
If we can get comments of people wanting to hear the story, please comment it. It is hilarious. I've heard it. I've lived it. Yeah. So please come and...
If you've stuck around to this part of the episode, or to the very end of this episode, you guys are rock stars and hanging in there, bitter einders.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the English is for a bitter einder, but you guys are bitter einders. And thanks, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. And God bless, stay safe, and
watch
see you
your
soon.
6, guys. Thanks.
Cheers. There we go.